Okay, I thought I was a little bit too soon. Now I was a little bit too late, even for just a second. Either way, Dark Marmot was so back again with ITG3 Encore and more buttons on BMO. Yeah, several things. I said once before, this is pretty much just something else. I once said something way before on... God damn it, why would you not there, please? God damn it, Windows is pretty much being Windows again. Yeah, I said something about having to deal with flies in the kitchen. It hasn't been dealt with, so pretty much I went around with a fly swatter over in here. It's already pretty much broken over in here. Has a hole, bits are broken. Can pretty much be, yeah, there once can be seen. Doesn't matter because everything else is there. Swatted about 10-ish. There are little ones, so of course. So yeah, pretty much if I still see anything in the coming days, I mean, one apparently has made themselves into my room for whatever reason, and I think it's gone. If, well, at least in terms of a certain something, wasps aren't coming into my room. But yeah, the real deal is changelog, because there is a whole bunch there. And when was the last day? 20. Yeah, I have to do stuff quick over in here. Check for human players, not enabled players. That is for the show graph stuff within select music, because within battle and or rave mode it shows that for the CPU, which is not needed. So pretty much on that, yeah, it should be there. Next thing, apparently certain things actually no, that is not that. I thought it was that, where there were certain things missing within everything else, but apparently I just did the get step chart facts wrong. Pretty much the stuff that is going within the intro segment, where everything is listed in here. I think this third screen, was it? Where usually how many step charts there are being listed. Yeah, I listed it all wrong. Now it does it correctly. Well, that's something. That's one day. Next day, position the graphs correctly within screen select music. Apparently, I pretty much checked around within vertical screen and stuff and noticed it's still doing stuff incorrectly. So I pretty much went back, and from then on it should be moving itself correctly. So that's that. Support for older StepMania versions currently down to 5.07 without much issue. About that, I might need to go back on that, because certain things where now I'm having issues with. It may be because of just a certain something, because it is using something that is not available in earlier versions, but might have been there on stuff. It may be if it's on, yeah, because it uses 5012 stuff or something. Yeah, because there it has been there, of course it wasn't issuing. I was checking stuff with everything being on thingamajiggy, on having the portable.ini file there, so that everything is separated, because otherwise it would be pulling the same thing, which is not something I want. So yeah, that's where I noticed a certain something, so I need to check certain something else. So that is that. Next thing, no need for 2 load modules. pretty much, yeah, I only need to check for if it's on OutFox, then I should be generating my own load modules. Otherwise, if it already exists, then don't do anything over there. Pretty much that. Then I changed that all things. A little bit of a cleanup, what I did there. Ah yeah, certain things with, yeah, one check that I don't need anymore because I fixed stuff. Certain colors that have that are referencing player colors, I pretty much went over there. Same thing there. A certain something where I said local distant is pretty much this value, then return this value. Just return the value immediately, have it calculated there already. And at 2 places I forgot to remove a colon. I moved a local array which can be just put somewhere else, which I may need to do elsewhere now-ish or later-ish. That's something. Now I know exactly when to use fading banner for the music wheel. Yeah, that is because of old StepMania. For whatever reason, back then, oh, no, actually, it is being displayed. It is not being displayed if it's OutFox V, because there it's fixed, and old StepMania. So pretty much 5.1 made something just freaking terrible, and I'm not even sure if it's the same case. No, actually, I would be potentially saying... No, it would be elsewhere, because I have another check for Eterna, so there is something there. But I would be potentially saying the fading banner would then only occur on new StepMania 5.1 or pretty much thingamajiggy OutFox 4. And potentially ITG Mania as well. I haven't checked there. I'm assuming it's pretty much using the same stuff. I haven't checked if that is actually also being fixed there. Might need to check there as well. I pretty much did whoopsie instead of saying fallback because things not always available in fallback within the language file. Instead of fallback, I wrote fallback, cool. CL, it should be CK, goddammit. And somewhere else I am checking, yeah, it's a banner thing over in here. If it's OutFox V or is old StepMania, then just output. Oh, wait a second, if it's there, that... Yeah, that, okay, yeah. Then it's pretty much correct, because otherwise it's not. Jeez. Brain freeze. Forgot to check player 2 here. Well, that's something that I, forgot apparently. Because, yeah, there is for, meter set. When I come in, usually the player, arrow on the difficulties is on the left side. If I'm player 2 and single player, pretty much is on the right side and then needs to be squished. If I'm only on the right side, it would have not done that. It would be semi-hidden behind stuff. So now it's stuffed correctly. Jeez. Forgot some other player 2 things. Apparently it is mostly within stats somethings, which of course I haven't checked on stuff. The Eterna workaround for evaluation should use master player. That is just something over in here, because I am usually expecting player 1 there. Usually it should be either player, so yeah, just get the master player, thank you very much, and that's that. Only show FateMaker record. if there is an actual profile, because otherwise it says minus 100,000% or something and whatnot, or plus. Do the same for less screen player overlays. Yeah, it's pretty much most of the better frames. Most of the things that I have within the initial command, in terms of placing everything, I am just doing the majority of stuff upstairs, so that it counts for all of them. Sheesh, fuck please. I may need to do this one for other things later on as well. Fix graph placements and screen select music on virtual screen. Okay, the other thing was for something else, so I'm not really sure on that. Here is where I got that one, so okay. Forgot widescreen diff and screen summary. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff that I pretty much forgot. It's mostly also second player that has been forgotten. So yeah. And the next thing, which is on the last thing on that day, fix the get 2-player join message display, since all StepMania was hard-coded by morons. Yes, I'm calling them out, especially for other things over in here that had been there, and I might need to overwrite a few things myself as well, depending. Either that or I just may need to actually fix stuff of it and whatnot. Either way, on the next day, don't load flare values during verses. I whoops there. I also may need to do something else over in here. Potentially I may need to do the check in terms of flares only work on no recovery. And but even there, I'm not really sure if stuff would then be okay or not, depending. In actuality, everything should be there if it's there. Either way. Fix summary for battle/rave and second player. Again, where I assume stuff that I fixed over in here. Apparently it was only one half, and there I noticed it was for second player as well. So whoops on that one. Yeah. Yeah, summary, pretty much just to have that one there. I'm not even sure if I have the name displayed as CPU. I don't think I did. Either way. Today I did two things. Display stats for screen step cache. Yeah, everything that I have done there can now be viewed, as well as how long the caching takes overall, and what takes how long in terms of singular things. Also, how many things are being cached, because that's separate to the total. And also, I also added how long it takes everything to check, because there are two ways to check. First, if the cache is being compiled pretty much on the very first play, or if the cache folder does not exist. If it does exist and it has some stuff, but it does not have the steps or the step folder within, pretty much for my step cache, it then takes longer, because if it has stuff within the cache, StepMania loads the cache instead of the files. And since I need the files for my step cache, it then needs to load the files additionally. Which pretty much then makes it take almost as long as the caching itself would be doing. I'd be saying, or pretty much a quarter of that, depending, I would be potentially saying. Which pretty much means, in terms of what I have, it's not saying good things, at least for OutFox especially. And in terms of other things, can't shortcut this, that is also something. Well, I tried to shortcut something within the file patch, subbing. Pretty much, yeah, get the last two letters and have the first letter being shown. Nah, it is not that way. So whoops on that one. And yeah, I need to do stuff the way how I have it originally already. So that is that. So that is absolutely everything in here. Now I can actually go in. Actually, in terms of things, I can at least show off the beginning. Yeah, it's all listed over in here. I have it also sorted within the cache. Yeah, certain things are double because for whatever reason, not sure. Also, step cache is only available if you enable it here. Because if you don't, pretty much everything else can be used, but most stuff like calculated BPM, it pretty much, yeah, everywhere where I said can utilize step cache is making stuff more accurate. Otherwise, it's just trying to make it more accurate. But it's not as accurate without step cache. It is not as accurate. About 90%. So yeah, onto stuff in here now. Getting finally in here. So this time around I don't have much. And I should be able to go straight in. Also, yeah, I went over in terms of going through the stuff. Also about 20 minutes. I was expecting it to be 20 minutes, but nah, it was not as much. Still. Also, in terms of overall difficulty, I am expecting everything to be hard. It depends though. So yeah, either way, going through. Also, I'm going to have to double check in here because I may have not needed here. So yeah, last time I said it is showing SPS. No, it's not. Can't do stuff now, so... Also, in terms of things, because I have what I have, I could be making it that way. That all depends. Also, why does this count as 7? And why is it going all over the place in here? I fucking hate all of you for being this bullshit. The usual with stuff. Have a consistency. Also, I'm seeing stuff not being loaded in the background, the usual. Church can't do anything? Well, that's something. Where is the long one? And yeah, that is the reason. This is pretty much also the reason why I may do something that is outside of the system. Pretty much depends on stuff. And let's get over in here. Seriously, at parts it goes everywhere. Oh yeah, do keep on forgetting. Why is there a line there? Also, for things of in here, I'm... yeah. Bugsing. In terms of things, I should be doing that one as well. Very much because of... yeah. Because if it's within stuff that is key sounded... yeah, depends. That is going to be something, alright. Just, yeah. I may need to do something. Also, either way, going over in here, which is there. Just now noticed that yeah, that is actually the thing that I have reactivated. And I forgot that it doesn't work in here. Sound mastering. That was almost like a cut-up prevention. The usual stuff in here. Also the usual stuff being quote-unquote something. There. Okay then. Still getting 2 points in here. What the hell? The hell is going on in here now? A whole bunch of nothing at points? The fuck was that placed? I would. I'm not even sure in terms of what the direction actually was again. If it, I would be actually. I'm not even sure. Either way, continue. I'm not really sure. It's actually easier than that, but it has a whole bunch of doubles, so I'm not sure on that one. But it has been set as an 8, but apparently calc is a 7. I'm not sure on that.
Chicken for the win. Beware of that chicken. GG, chicken for the win.
Yeah, wasn't there actually something where there was a desync? Wasn't this the one where it has one desync? I'm not even sure if that is even the case. Everything is just long, so apparently the song or the video is desynced. Either that or... Nah, it just starts off immediately.
Chicken for the win.
Okay, the desync was already there.
of that chicken. GG chicken for the win.
Okay, fuck off. I was only even during the end. Had there been anything else that was just missing in terms of their stuff? I'm not even sure if there actually has been something that I may need to integrate that, because that was a desync as well. Yeah, why certain things have been I would be saying because of stuff. Nah, I'm not doing that. In terms of anything that is actually labeled 7 or 8, I'm skipping those unless it's the only thing. Then I have to. So yeah. Okay, at least no these things here. Would have been something else if it would have been something. So the other one I'm not really sure of. In here there has been a whole lot where I was at least... Yeah, I was happy for this to be something. So yeah, what's going on to be here? Oops. All the voice samples also in here. Wow. Okay then. Still, you know. But because of what I said, I'm not going that 7. It's the only one in here that I'm going to do. It's a 6. It's actually an 8. It's mainly at the beginning section, if I see that one correctly. That's something. Eh. I thought I saw something. No, it is somewhere else, but still. Stuff might be going. There's going to be something if there's actually anything in here, so... Well, it depends what's going on. I know the song, but will it help me? I failed at the end because it was not visible. I was... yeah, fuck off. First of all, was this normal or was it... Nah, it's pretty much going down, so in that way it would have been there. So in that aspect, I would be potentially saying... Yeah, I would be saying... Next time, if... it actually is going down because of thingamajiggy, I may need to have a stabilizer for M speed because of everything else I mean here. Because if something is pretty much going lower for whatever reason, at least in terms of he, and actually pretty much needs certain things, which would there be the reason? Which would then be required to have the step cache, because only then I would then be able to potentially fix that. It pretty much depends on things, but still. More on that next time, potentially. Something that's set a 4, but is actually a 6 because of that one spike that I saw in the middle. Also leave again. How many do you have in here? Okay then. Also, all this caused a butterfly? The other way. A butterfly caused all this. And a level 7, which is actually a level 9, is something else over in here that I'm not going through. Okay, something that's also in the easier department that I'm also going to go through. 9? That would be potentially saying IX is pretty much pronounced as 9. Roman numeral. I think there had been a desync. And over in here, which is a straight up 6. Also, there has been nothing within... Okay, it's not my problem. It just wasn't playing at the right time. What we're potentially saying, the amount where it hasn't played is also just the amount it's being desynced by. So whoever set it at the wrong position is pretty much the culprit for there, and it's not my fault because everything should be going the way it should be. And that's the only one in here. What? I heard a double. Either way, continue, and there's a whole bunch, and a whole bunch of markers, the usual. fuck's sake are we in here? Sometimes easy is too easy and the actual normal one is too hard. I can guess it's 7 or 8. Nah, it's not even that, it is 9. And that is the actual next thing. Fuck's sake, you guys. Also, a whole bunch of things just... Yeah, there are long null sections. So, if anything, these things is not my fault. BMS edit. I would be potentially saying any BMS edit. Maybe the copy for those. At least it doesn't have a video. That again? I would be potentially saying certain things which would have happened again, but because of there being no more steps afterwards, of course it's being skimmed. And yeah, pretty much there's also the reason why it has been these. It is pretty much anything in between. The usual bullshit. This time it's an entire section that is just off, and I only have this to do, but that's something. I hope it doesn't have a video though, because otherwise, a whole lot of nothing. Which is not my fault. Uh-oh. What was that, please? Okay, there was something supposed to be there. And music comes in delayed. It was already reloaded in here. Because of how long stuff took. Also, yeah, I may bring this over as well unless I find a little bit of a better code, because what I have is a little bit dirty. So I hope I find something that is yeah. So yeah. Depending, I might have an idea on how to do things, but because of things, I'm not even going there. Especially since that one is actually hard in here. I'm not sure if I'm going over in here. I may, because of the way that it has been dealt with. Oops. What's with that rhythm there? Jeez, what the fuck? Also, wasn't there a second one I could be doing? Oh yeah, it was questionable. So I wasn't paying attention with the doubles. Okay, fuck off with those. If bullshit hadn't been done in here, I could have potentially gotten it, but nah. The only reason why it's been held as an 8 is otherwise it would have potentially be a 7 and I would have potentially gotten it. Fuck's sake. It's a 7, but I've seen already bullshit in here and I haven't checked for doubles. Quite the amount still. Okay, fuck off, you retard. Seriously, what is this bullshit? Some was quite something, but the step chart was terrible in that section in particular. There was a bullshit section, which was potentially a little bit longer, so yeah. Fuck's sake.